Hello guys, hope you are doing very fine. So today we will be starting discussing on linked list. So this is an introductory class. So we will start from the basics. So what is a linked list? So from the name itself, we can assume one thing, that there could be a memory chunk, and these memory chunks are linked among each others. So it creates a chain between the nodes. If we call it as a node 1, node 2, and node 3, where this node 1, node 2, and node 3 are type of node class, then node 1, N1, is connecting to node 2, and node 2 is connecting to node 3, and node 3 is finally grounded. That means it's pointing to null. So this node is basically having address of or reference of another node. So what we are trying to say, if the base address of this node is, say for example 2000, and the base address of this node is 2012 and this is 8000, then definitely this pointer or this location of this node object will have the value of 2012, which is nothing but the base address of node 2 or N2. In another case, node 3's base address, if it is 8000, then it is going to have value of 8000. And this is going to be pointed to null. Now, if we think in a different way, in case of array, we know that array is a linear data structure, and linear in the sense because it stores elements sequentially one after another. So if we try to find out the similarities between array and linked list, the similarities will be, in case of linked list also, if it is having a data, say for example 301, 64, and 98, then all these datas, all these things has been stored in a sequential order. That means one after another. So 301 is pointing to 64, and 64 is pointing to 98. So that is also happening for here. If 30, 64, 98, or 301, 64, 98 stays there in array like this. Okay. So that means what? That means you can access 64 after 301, or you can see like 64 is coming after 301, 90 is coming after 64. So one after another, these things are coming. So that's why the nature is sequential and it's a linear one. That's why it's linear one. But there is a big difference between array and linked list. There are majorly two differences. The first difference is, in case of array, every element is having their, or every element is stored in contiguous memory location. That means what? Say for example, the base address of this element of this array is something like 4000, and this is taking 4 byte of memory space, then it should be 4004. In case of 64 base address, 98's base address is going to be 4008, then it is going to be 4012, then it is going to be 4016, and then it is going to be 4020. So the memory address, whatever the memory address are there, they are basically having same size of the data type. So if the data type has having 4 bytes of memory space, and if it is start from 4K, then it could be 4K plus 4, it could be 4K plus 8, 4K plus 12, something like that. Whereas in case of linked list, you don't know the memory address of node 1. It could be like here, say for example, this is year 2000, and it could be like 2012, which is in this location, and this memory chunk is basically pointing to this memory chunk. And there are another memory chunk, which is, or memory address, which is, this is year 2012, which is at the location of 8000, and your 2012 is actually pointing to 8000. So it is not contiguous memory location, and a heap memory location is basically used over here, and that is the beauty that of linked list, that it is something, it stores memory location, something like that. And that is why in case of array, whenever we are going to, I mean, if we want to declare array, we need to provide size, right? And that size matters a lot. But in case of linked list, you don't need to allocate memory extra, or you don't need to allocate memory, or you can say like, you don't need to go with a pre-allocation for extra node. So that is not required, that pre-allocation for extra node or pre-allocation of extra node, not required at all in case of linked list, because you are allocating memory, the amount of memory you are looking for your purpose, to fulfill your purpose. So if you need X amount of bytes, right, for to save your data, then you will be allocating X amount of byte only, because you are making a link, right, between nodes, and this node will store randomly into, different memory location in heap, and you don't need to pre-allocate it. So that's a great advantage. Another advantage, which is very, very important, that is insertion and deletion. You can insert any node in between so easily. You just need to change this link. You just need to change this link if you want to insert between 301 and 64 a node which is having a value 70, and you need to break this connection. So insertion, and similar way deletion is also very smooth. You just need to, if you want to delete 64, you just need to, make this connection with 98 and break this connection. So, but in case of array, what happened? Array, if you just want to insert in between, you need to shift all these elements. You need to shift all the elements whoever staying in the right direction, right? So that is a very important, like insertion plus deletion in the middle is so easier in case of linked list. So these are the two biggest, you can say advantages which we can get using linked list. So we will continue our session on linked list more. If you have any question, please put it into the comment section. Thank you so much. Happy coding. Stay safe.